Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Manal Talks Books. I'm Manal and let's talk books. Today I am doing my February TBR video. So I haven't done a TBR video before and there's like a reason for that. So I used to always do TBRs for every month and that really helped me keep track of my reading and it got me excited, like planning out what to read during the month. However, I went through like a slump a couple of years ago and I found that TBRs were just making me more anxious and they weren't getting me to read more. They were actually depressing me and getting me unmotivated to read. So I decided to stop doing TBRs and I just found them really stressful. However, I decided to start again like maybe a year ago because I changed my philosophy on TBRs. So basically, I reduced the amount of books I put on my TBRs and I also cut myself some slack. So for example, if I don't read all the books on my TBR, it's not a big deal. And if I read none of them, it's not a big deal. Just as long as I'm reading at least one book a month, that is fine. So now I'm so much better with the whole concept of TBRs. I find that on BookTube sometimes there are people who have like 10 books or more on their TBRs, and looking at those videos, watching those videos, it's just it makes me feel bad about myself because I can't read 10 books a month. So yes, I have 5 books total and one of those is optional. It's a maybe, I'm not quite sure. Because again, with TBRs, there isn't space with for mood reading. And I find that sometimes I just want to pick a book that I did not plan to read because, I'm in the mood for it. So we'll see with the 5th book. If I'm in the mood for it, then I'll definitely pick it up in February. But if I'm not, it's fine. So without further ado, let's start. The first book on my TBR for February is going to be Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. So this is going to be my second time reading the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, and I am actually buddy reading it with a friend of mine who's reading it for the first time. It's been really fun. So I've been rereading the whole Shadowhunter Chronicles with my friend, and again, it's her first time reading them, and it's been just so much fun talking to her about my favorite world, my favorite stories, and just my favorite characters. I love Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter world, and getting the chance to experience it with a friend and to just discuss it with her, and it's been amazing. So I cannot wait for her to read this so that I could talk about everything. If you've read this book, you know. I'm not gonna tell you the synopsis on this book because it's very spoilery. I mean, you can look it up if you don't want to read The Mortal Instruments. You can look this book up, but if you want to read The Mortal Instruments and you haven't done so yet, please do not read this book before you read City of Heavenly Fire. So, yeah, you basically need to finish the whole Mortal Instruments series before you read this book because it spoils the ending of City of Heavenly Fire. Be warned. So yeah, so this is the first book that I will definitely get to in February. Now the second book in my TBR is actually a middle grade, which I haven't read a middle grade in a long time. And it is Keeper of the Lost Cities Never Seen by Shannon Messenger. So this is the 4th book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series, which is a middle grade series, but it's a freaking long series. It's got like 8 or 9 books. I think the 9th book isn't out yet, but I think it comes out soon. So yeah, so I'm on the 4th book. I've read the first 3 last year, and I've read them in like 2 weeks, and these are big books, but they're so good. I don't know if you're middle grade readers, but even if you don't like middle grade, if you've read Percy Jackson and Harry Potter, you will love this series. It's just given me like Percy vibes, and it is in no way similar to Percy Jackson. It has nothing to do with like Greek mythology or anything. It's about elves, but it's just given me this vibe. So the first book is about this girl. She's 12 years old and she thinks she's human, but then something happens and she finds out that she's an elf, and then she has to go to this like school for elves and to this other world where the elves live. And there's basically this whole like secret, and she finds out that she's been hidden in the human world. And yeah, it's very exciting. It's very fun. You know, there's a magic school and, you know, a great cast of characters, and I just really, really love this series, and I am so excited to get back into this world. So this will definitely happen in February as well. Now, the fourth book is going to be a romance book, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Now, when this book first came out, I had no interest in reading it. I don't know why, but then everyone and their mother started talking about how much they love this book, and I was like, I need to read it. I need to find out what the hype is about. And everyone's talking about how the romance is good and about how the love interest is amazing, and I'm just like, okay, so this is my thing. Like, I have to pick it up. I'm very excited, and I have no idea what it's about. Like, I just know there's this like maiden and a guard, but I do not care to know more. I just want to, you know, jump into this blind and fall in love with the story and the characters and hopefully the romance, you know. The fifth book, no, never mind. Now, the fourth book that I wanted to read this February, this one is the one that's like optional, that's a maybe, is The Wicked King by Holly Black. I read The Cruel Prince 2 or 3 years ago, like a long time ago, and honestly, I wasn't a big fan. Now, I enjoyed it somewhat, but it was like a 3-star book for me. I did not understand the hype of The Cruel Prince. I don't know, like, I didn't relate to the main character. The story to me was not very, like, I don't know. You know, I don't want to offend anyone, but there has just been so much hype on The Cruel Prince that I was like, I need to read this book. But then when I read it, I was like, this is good, but it's not great. So why all this hype? If the mood strikes, I will give The Wicked King a shot this February. But what I've decided is, if I don't like The Wicked King, I will not pick up the third book and I will unhaul the series. Life's too short to read books we don't like. But I was just really disappointed with The Cruel Prince because everyone's just hyped it up so much that I was expecting to fall in love with it like everyone else. But it was just meh. It was okay. But again, like, it was okay enough that I wanted to know what happens. But again, if this book does not live up to the hype, I'm done with this series. So now the fifth book is A Court of, what is it called? Basically, I'll just put a picture on the screen. But it's the fourth book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not sure if it's actually a part of the series, but it's the second half of the series. I cannot remember the title for the life of me. I am so excited for Cassian and Nesta's story. I ship this couple so much, and there's gonna be so much sexual tension. And now that it's like, you know, officially classified as new adult, I'm hoping for lots of, you know, sexy times. It's gonna be amazing, and I just cannot wait. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm planning to read this February. If you like this video, please give it a like and please give me a subscribe. So thank you very much for watching.